Hey everyone, Michael O'Brien here with some more advice for magicians. I'm actually out today in beautiful Dana Point, California. As you can see, I get to work in one of these beautiful homes today right here on the coastline. So beautiful. And before I get into today's topic, I wanted to give a quick shout out to all my Patreon patrons. I'll leave you guys linked right up here. Thank you to all of you guys who have become patrons. You're helping me to keep my channel going. And if it wasn't for you, honestly, I do not think that I'd be able to put out this content every single week. So again, thank you so much for all of you guys who have become Patreon patrons. If you want to see your name here, as well as get access to a bunch of other awesome perks, please go ahead and click on the link below and you can find out more about how to do that. So for today's topic, I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between effects that use gimmicks and effects that use just pure sleight of hand, and whether or not one is more preferential over the other. Now, when I say gimmicks, I mean any kind of device or apparatus that helps you to achieve a desired effect. So just to make the simplest example, we can talk about a card trick, like the ambitious card, for example. Maybe using pure sleight of hand would mean using some kind of move or control or something to make a card rise up to the top of the deck. Whereas we could also use a Svengali deck. So for those of you that are familiar with the Svengali deck, a gimmicked deck that allows you to do a lot of really cool things. One of those things being bringing a card up to the top, right? But it doesn't require any skill or sleights. The deck does all the work for you. So now the question is, what is the benefits to using a gimmick? Also versus what are the things that might make you suffer a little bit when you're using a gimmick. So I guess pros and cons. So when we're talking about using gimmicks, a lot of the time gimmicks will allow you to do some really magical looking things that might look unnatural if you're using just good old-fashioned sleight of hand. So like I said, let's use the ambitious card as an example. So if I want to make a card come up to the top of the deck and I use a move or a sleight to do that, the sleight itself might look a little bit unnatural because something is happening. Now, the audience might not know what it is, but they might suspect that something out of the ordinary is happening when you execute the move. When you're using the Svengali deck, all you do is you just place the card in the middle, you turn over the top card, and it's on top. Like nothing happens, literally, and even the spectator can even do it themselves if they want to. So now what are some of the negative sides about using the gimmick? Well, now you can't hand out the Svengali deck to be examined, because if they see the deck, they're going to know right away what's up, because they'll see, of course, a bunch of their same card in there. And so this is where it kind of gets interesting now. You know, some people might say that they swear by gimmicks, and other people, you might hear people say, man, I'm so pure sleight of hand, I don't even own a gimmick. So now a lot of people have been asking me, what do you prefer? Do you prefer sleight of hand or do you prefer gimmicks? And my answer to that is I prefer whatever is going to work best in that particular situation to make that effect look as magical as possible. So I will use an example from a friend of mine, Helder Gimmicks. He has mentored me, he's taught me some things, given me some great advice. And one thing that I'll always remember, and I suggest, by the way, you guys pick up his copy of Red Mirror, because he talks about a lot of this stuff in that DVD series. But one of the things that he said was he wanted to create an effect that was so seamless it didn't look like anything was happening. And that effect does use a gaff. And essentially what he does is he has two jokers find a card, right? And this effect could easily be achieved by sleight of hand. But he wanted an effect where it seems almost as if nothing happens. And very visually, the two jokers get closer and closer till they find the selected card. And like I said, it uses a gaff. And some people gave him criticisms for it. They're like, you know, why are you using a gaff when you could have just used sleight of hand? And again, his answer was very simple. It's not about the method, it's about the presentation, it's about the effect, it's about the desired outcome that you want. If using a gaff card is not going to hinder the method, but it's going to improve upon the magicalness, I just made up that word, magicalness, the magical effect, if it's going to have a positive impact on the magical effect without putting a damper on the method, then he's going to opt to use the gimmick over the sleight. Now, there are certain situations, however, where you might not want to use a gimmick. Like, for example, if you're, you know, going to be performing a series of card tricks in a row, and you need a regular deck of cards to be able to do that. Now there's two ways that you can do this. Either you can switch in and switch out the gaff deck, or you can just opt to not use the gaff deck at all, and you can just use sleight of hand throughout your entire performance. So this is where kind of the preferential thing kind of comes in for you. What do you prefer? Is it okay if you use a little bit of sleight of hand to switch in and out, that gaff? Do you want to put the extra work into that or not? It completely depends on you. So the question is what do you prefer? Do you prefer non-gimmicked effects that use just pure sleight of hand, or do you prefer gimmicked effects? And my answer to that, honestly, is it depends on the situation. And it depends on if that gimmick is going to benefit the magical outcome of that performance. Now, if you're just using a gimmick because you don't want to use sleight of hand, but the gimmick doesn't add any kind of, it doesn't help the magical, actual performance of the effect itself, then I would say don't use the gimmick, because now you're just adding in something that might not be able to be examined, and it might be a pain in the butt to switch it in or switch it out, or maybe it looks unnatural when you're bringing it in. Like, I don't like using things that involve a card case being on a table. A lot of the times you can't have the deck inside that card case, so it's like, okay, I need to switch one card for another, so can I just use a sleight, or do I need to introduce this card case and just have it on the table and then use the card case to switch the card later and then put the card case away? It just looks unnatural, right? So it really, really depends. But like I said, as long as it helps the magical performance, it helps make the trick look even more impossible without adding anything extra to the method, or without, hindering the effect at all, I say use the gaff. It is going to help make your effect look a lot more magical. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you prefer sleight of hand? Do you prefer gimmicks? Like I said, let me know. If you guys are enjoying this content, I'm going to do my best every single week to put out more videos like this. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on this, as well as let you guys see the beautiful view over here. But anyway, my name is Michael O'Brien. Again, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And if you want to see more videos, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you guys next week with more advice from magicians. Take care.